Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Record high temperatures in jeopardy tomorrow, but it's not coming with sunshine and blue skies.
Hey guys, so we are going into the mouth of the dragon. That's what we're calling this detour for I-75 southbound. We're taking the preferred route, particularly for trucks. That's Norman. He's driving. I'm talking. We'll show you what it looks like coming up.
Okay, Paula, but first, a break in the case. Detroit police say they've arrested the man who shot a 6-year-old Detroit boy. Thankfully, that little boy is expected to make a full recovery.
Shooting happened last night at a home on Rosemont Avenue near the Southfield Freeway. Coco McAvoy is at Children's Hospital where the little boy was taken. And Coco, let's start with how he's doing this afternoon.
Devin and Kimberly, at last check, the little boy was in stable condition, but police say this all started after a 44-year-old man looking for his ex-wife shot up the house. And this is a story that just makes you mad because it doesn't make any sense. And neighbors are now left upset and they're concerned for that little boy.
We get a lot of police traffic around here, so for that just to happen, it's crazy.
And sad, seeing the front window of the home riddled with bullet holes after a 6-year-old boy was shot at this house on Rosemont Avenue. One of the neighbors heard the gunshots.
Yeah, we heard it clear as day. Boom, 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 because it was bullet shells all out here.
Police say this is a case of domestic violence. A woman came over to the house last night for a visit, but her ex-husband ended up coming too and fired shots into the house from the outside.
I was like, well, that's bad that somebody's shooting up the house. And then I came out. I stepped in the driveway and the police was right here.
Police then searched for the 44-year-old man who left the little 6-year-old boy wounded.
He was like, yeah, the baby was shot twice. So I was like, oh man, that's bad.
The man was taken into custody this morning after the senseless shooting. And now neighbors are feeling for the child who got caught in the middle of the gunfire.
It's just sad, though, that even happened to that child. For whatever may be going on with those grown people, the child shouldn't have nothing to do with it or, life being in danger like that.
And we know the little boy was shot in the hand and in the leg, and he's now recovering in the hospital this afternoon. Reporting live, I'm Coco McAvoy, Local 4, back to you.
Well, Coco, do we know the charges in the case yet then?
Devin, we don't know yet the charges in this case, and they haven't released the name of the suspect yet because he hasn't been officially charged. However, we do know that he's going to face a number of charges after this shooting, and we'll, of course, keep track of this case.
All right, Coco. Now let's take a look at 4 Live Radar, a spot all the way down south in Kentucky, marching its way toward Metro Detroit tonight. Not the usual weather pattern.
You're right, but that has people in Macomb County on edge because of the sewer collapse. Steve Garagiola is following that story for us. We'll check in with him in just a moment.
Let's start things off with Ben and how much rain we're talking about, Ben.
Well, the stuff that's actually going to fall from the sky tomorrow, it could range from anywhere between a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch, but that is just the beginnings of our problems. And here's one of the reasons why. Warmer air is headed in this direction. And when we get warmer temperatures in here, especially this time of year, that atmosphere can hold more moisture. And tomorrow that will be the case. We see temperatures already in the 50s here across northern parts of Indiana and Ohio. We're going to be possibly breaking a record tomorrow afternoon, but the rainfall will probably be the headline. There's not a lot to look at down here right now. You can see some very light showers sort of showing up here on an arc between Kentucky and Indiana, right into parts of Indianapolis. This is going to increase in intensity as it moves towards us. Just light stuff tonight, but we've got a soaker on its way tomorrow. That and the warmer temperatures melting what snow is out there, going to cause additional moisture, and that is not good news for folks in Fraser. Let's get out to Steve Garagiola, who is there tonight. Officials there said even the smallest amount of rain, Steve, can cause big trouble because of that collapsed sewer line.
All right, Ben, you say a soaker. People around here wince when they hear that. Nobody rooting for rain tomorrow. Here's a good way to visualize what the problem is. You've got this big pipe, 11-foot diameter. It's carrying sewage. It's buried 60 feet underground, and now because it's broken, it's getting clogged with silt and sand. So the capacity has been reduced to something more like this. So if we get a big rain tomorrow, they've got big trouble. The problem is enormous. Easily understood, not so easily fixed.
An 11-foot diameter interceptor, of which there's only about a foot of space for flow to get through there.
Residents like Jerry DeClerc get frustrated.
Well, I guess I find it hard to believe it's taken so much money and time to fix something like that.
With most of the pipe's capacity blocked by silt, restricted water use and limited flushing become crucial for residents. But now the enemy is rain, and the forecast is for possibly substantial rain in the next 2 days.
We just can't handle heavy rain, and of course it's in the forecast, so we are asking people to continue to restrict their water usage.
A sewage discharge of 12 to 13 million gallons into the Clinton River was required the day after Christmas. A heavy rain tomorrow could force that choice again.
We have strategically located at 6 different sites disinfectant product, which will mitigate the environmental impact to some degree. It's still bad. There's no good choice.
There is one other option, which Commissioner Miller says is absolutely unacceptable.
The only other choice is to let raw sewage go to back up in people's basements. Obviously, we are not going to be doing that.
No, that's the absolute last thing they want to see happen. Reaching for a little bit of good news, kind of a side to this story, a lot of residents asking about drinking water. Commissioner Miller wanted to emphasize that drinking water is a completely separate system. She says the water is fine, it's pure, it's great, there is no problem there. This is about moving the sewage, and that is a big problem that is a long way from a solution. Reporting live in Macomb County, I'm Steve Garagiola, Local 4.
Indeed, yeah. Steve. Okay, well, we go now from one massive construction project to another. Tonight's evening commute is the first real test for drivers since I-75 shut down.
Live pictures right now from Sky 4, right where the freeway is shut down at Springwells. We're going to take you on a real-time tour of the detours right now in the middle of this first rush since it's closed. Paula Tutman and Norman is also a part of the story, trying to move through this mess. Paula, where are you guys right now?
So we just passed Beach Daily and we are on 96 westbound. This is really the preferred detour according to MDOT. This is definitely where they want trucks to go because this is a road that can handle that kind of traffic. So let's take you on live drive right now. So you can see from the camera looking out west from where we're driving, and you can see this looks like any other rush hour. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I don't drive this route a lot. The few times I have, this actually looks a little bit lighter. Now, let's take you to the mouth of the construction. So let's go upstairs to the chopper. This is at Springwells, and you can see that the cars are waiting to get on. This takes you to the surface streets. And a lot of people are going to want to take this route because it feels more direct because you are traveling south, basically down Fort Street through that surface street. A lot of trucks are taking that route right now. MDOT does not want trucks to take that route. They really want them to take that 96 route. We talked to Dr. Charles Gelcher of Gelcher Chiropractic Clinic. He specializes in pains in the neck, and he says that the truck traffic has gotten so heavy he can actually feel his building shaking. We were inside talking to him, and we could feel the building shaking as trucks were actually moving through. Let's come back to where we are right now and go to our live drive camera. Again, even though this takes you out of your way, some are saying between 30 and 50 miles, this is a better route to take. It can handle it, and you can see the traffic is not heavy at all. Stay with us. We'll see what it looks like at 6 o'clock, guys.
All right, Paula and Norman, there's no good answer. I mean, that's a long detour.
For the next 2 years at that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, search continues this afternoon for a man who broke into a home in Clinton Township.
Yeah, police say a woman returned to her home at 15 Mile and Gratiot around 8 a.m. this morning and found a man inside ransacking the place. That's when the intruder hit the woman and held a knife to her throat before running off. The suspect is considered armed and dangerous. If you know anything, call Clinton Township Police. Michigan Representative Brian Banks is resigning after pleading guilty to filing false financial statements. Banks was charged in June of 2016 with 4 criminal charges after officials say he applied for a loan using fake financial information. Today, Banks pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge, which usually carries a sentence of up to 1 year in prison. But as part of his deal, Banks resigned from office, and the charges have therefore been dropped.
Taking a look at live pictures right now from the Senate floor, where Democrats say they plan to go all night in one final push to derail the nomination of Betsy DeVos as Secretary of Education. All of this happening as the president is in Florida making his first address to the military since taking office. Tracy Potts is following it all from Washington tonight. Tracy?
Hi, Devin. Good evening. Good evening, everyone from Washington. Today, the president got an update from CENTCOM. That's the U.S. Central Command on the front lines in the war on terror, a war he says he's trying to prevent from crossing our borders. President Trump visiting troops for the first time today at Central Command in Florida, talking tough against terrorists and defending his travel ban.
So that people that love us and want to love our country and will end up loving our country are allowed in, not people that want to destroy us and destroy our country.
Travelers from 7 targeted countries are now entering the U.S. after a federal judge blocked the ban.
My family is here with us safe. We are so excited.
The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals is deciding whether to uphold the ban.
The president violated the Constitution in very fundamental ways, and that's impacting thousands of people across our country, and frankly, that's not right.
Among those urging the court to oppose the ban, former national security officials, mostly Democrats, and nearly 100 prominent tech companies. They argue the ban could do long-term damage and make our troops less safe. Also today, the president getting heat for this remark.
Putin's a killer. A lot of killers. We've got a lot of killers. Why, you think our country's so innocent?
One can argue that's the most anti-American statement ever made by the President of the United States.
It's almost as if there's nothing Putin can do now that will get Donald Trump to admit error.
President Trump's most controversial executive order so far tonight in the hands of a federal court. The Ninth Circuit's decision far from the end of this. This is a case working its way up to the U.S. Supreme Court, where the justices will have to decide the essential question here. Does President Trump's travel ban violate the Constitution? From Washington, Tracy Potts, Local 4.
All right, Tracy, back here, Detroit City Council taking up an important debate about dogs.
New tonight, a look at the new plan to keep the streets safer and make the city more pet-friendly.
Also, police say this pair went on a mini crime spree. New tonight, what police say they stole and the 2 things they didn't take into account that got them caught. Nick?
2 men, one a teenager, shot and killed early this morning in Westland. What police need you to do to try to help find the person who shot them.
Tonight, new at 6.
Here's an important question. Where does open carry begin and threat end?
And it's terrifying. You know, there's been so many attacks on police officers nationwide over the past year or two.
And right here, there was a confrontation that caused quite the stir. We'll show you the incredible video ahead.
All right, Rod. Also, a man accused of breaking into a woman's home twice in the same weekend. Behind bars now. How surveillance video cracked the case.
Tonight, investigators in Westland are still trying to figure out who killed 2 people in the middle of the night in a quiet neighborhood.
Happened on Treadwell Street in the area of Palmer Road and South Newburgh. As Nick Monticelli reports, police have a basic idea, they believe, of what happened.
A rough morning for those living in this neighborhood in Westland. 3 gunshots at 2:30 in the morning, and some of the neighbors in these homes ran out to help.
I heard 3 pop. It wasn't, a real fast pop. It was pop, pop, pop.
Those that live here are afraid to show their faces, afraid that whoever shot and killed 2 people will come back.
I looked down the street and I seen a man laying on the ground there.
That man was a 35-year-old who was laying in someone's front yard. The neighbor ran over to him, grabbed him, and started shaking him, saying,
"Brother, it's me. Get up, man. Come on. I'm here. Stay up. I'm here with you." And he gasped for air. And then I kept talking to him for a minute. He laid there, and then he kind of went out.
By then, Westland police officers were there, and that is when they noticed a second person shot and killed. It was a 19-year-old man. This happened in the 2300 block of Treadwell near Newburgh and Michigan Avenue around 2:30 this morning. Once the sun came up, a clearer picture of what happened emerged. The 19-year-old was found in the street, the 35-year-old 2 houses down in that front yard. Both men were shot. A bag of drugs was found nearby. That and other evidence makes police believe this is a drug-related shooting.
So we want people to know that this doesn't appear to be some kind of random act and that the neighborhood is as safe as it can be right now.
Which is what many here on Treadwell are used to.
I'm going to always have that memory of his eyes looking at me. That was terrible.
In Westland, Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
And we're told both of the men live near the area where they were killed.
All right, let's check in with Ben right now. Temperatures warmed up quite nicely today.
Be heading for a record, I guess, tomorrow.
Yeah, and usually in February, that's kind of a good thing because we need a little break from the cold.
Except the trouble that we just talked about earlier.
Right.
We do not need rain in Macomb County.
They don't, and then the timing of it with the commute and what's going on at
75.
The fact that we could be having fog on top of that, I mean, it's not going to be fun tomorrow. So maybe you want to crawl into bed now so you can get up early and get cracking at it early tomorrow morning. Temperatures are going to fall to their low at midnight. 38 degrees is going to be our lowest temperature, and that's going to be at midnight. After that, we're going to start seeing those numbers sweep upward, and as the warmer air comes in at night, that's when we expect that fog to start forming as well. We hit the 40s today, low 40s here at Metro. 52 is the current temperature in Toledo, so that warm air is just off to our south. You see all of these 50s here across parts of Ohio and northern Indiana. There is a batch of 40s over here on the west side of Indiana and eastern Illinois, but we expect to get into the low 50s tomorrow. Our record high is 53, and we'll probably get right to that mark. We'll check that out in your 4-zone forecast coming up. Not much to look at on the radar as we showed you at the top of the show, but showers do increase tonight. Anything that happens through the overnight should be fairly light, probably a light shower or some drizzle mixed in with that fog. Then we get into tomorrow morning, and our first big batch of rain starts rolling in, unfortunately just in time for the morning commute. Warm front will lift north. It'll slow down the rain a little bit until another batch comes in as we get into the heart of the afternoon. And as we're going to be in that warm sector here, south of the warm front, east of that cold front, could be hearing a couple rumbles of thunder in there as well. But those 50s aren't going to last long. Cold front comes through in the evening. That's going to allow the cold air to start sweeping in. The moisture will be gone by the time the real cold stuff gets here, so I don't think that we'll see any switch over back from rain to snow. There's just a slight chance overnight that we could get some light freezing rain in some of our far north zone, but most of us are going to see all liquid. Here's what we're looking at for precipitation totals, anywhere from generally about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. I don't see any reason to get more specific on exact placement of where some of these totals are going to be higher, because these rain showers and possibly thunderstorms are going to be scattered around all across the area tomorrow. 38 tonight, and again, that's going to be a midnight low. We'll see those numbers head upward. And here's how highs are going to look tomorrow. Metro zone, almost everybody gets into the 50s tomorrow. 54 in the city. We'll call it 53 right at that record high at the airport. South zone, you saw those 50s hanging out just to your south right now. I think we may get 60 or close to it right there in Lambertville and the Ohio state line. Rest of the zone in the mid 50s tomorrow. West zone, generally low 50s, 47 there in Clarkston. In our north zone tomorrow, we'll see those low or high temperatures rather in the 40s primarily, but up in Sanilac County, you're not going to make it out of the 30s tomorrow. So a very wide range in temperatures as that system moves in, and then just as quickly as we warm up,
yeah.
cool down
Right back into it. Yeah, going to be a strange week.
Let's get over to Doc.
Well, bringing human hearts back to life outside of the body. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. It's not science fiction. I'll show you where it's happening and who it could help.
A Ferndale couple addicted to heroin were looking for any unlocked car doors. They managed to find one, but were arrested a short time later. And the person who called 911 was probably the last person they expected.
Heart disease.
Police say this pair went on a rather bumbling crime spree over the weekend.
Shelby Higdon and Richard Hart are accused of stealing a car and a whole lot more, but two things were working against them. Let's get to Priya Mann live. And Priya, tell us a little bit more about how these two were caught.
Well, Kimberly, you mentioned two factors. The first was Mother Nature. Sunday morning, there was a light snowfall. Police were able to track footprints in the snow. In fact, one neighbor showed us footprints still in his backyard, and the other was the couple's roommate. He says he saw something suspicious and called 911. In fact, you can hear him whispering to the dispatcher so that the couple doesn't hear him.
The two heroin addicts downstairs, a boy and a girl, they just carjacked someone.
The roommate told police he saw the pair parking a new car in the garage.
Oh, it's one of those new Tauruses. A girl said, oh, we stole it last night. And now they're in the bathroom doing heroin.
The man was hiding in the upstairs room when he called police.
We told our officers, I don't want to just have that door open because then they'll know something's up.
When Ferndale police arrived, the couple denied they stole the car, but the Taurus was traced to a man who lives in Troy. Gift cards in the owner's name were later found in the vehicle.
So I opened the window and saw that there was a flatbed truck and 2 cop cars. I saw them pull the car out of the garage and then put it on the truck, and then they arrested the girl.
Police say 28-year-old Shelby Higdon and 31-year-old Richard Hart spent Sunday morning looking for unlocked vehicles in the neighborhood.
It was like pretty obvious somebody had, tried to get in the car. Same way, the snow was fresh on both handles, so where they had pulled, they couldn't get anything.
Neighbors say there's been nothing but problems at the home on Leroy near Livernois until the new roommate moved in.
He's a really nice guy, and he said he was going to try. And we can only call 911 so many times, and we don't know what's going on inside.
And neighbors say it's been a complete nightmare at this home. They say someone's been stabbed here. There's been multiple overdoses. Ferndale police say they've been here numerous times. Now, police say when the couple allegedly found that unlocked vehicle, the car keys were inside. So this is a reminder, don't leave your car keys in the vehicle. And of course, keep your car doors locked. Reporting live from Ferndale, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Yep, good tip as always. Priya, there were reports, though, that police found something else in the garage that looks suspicious. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, Ferndale police found 2 bicycles, and while police were doing patrols and investigating in the area, 2 women approached them saying bicycles had just been stolen from their property, and police say the descriptions they gave matched the bikes found in this garage.
All right, well, lock up your personal property. Priya, thanks.
New at 5:30.
The city of Detroit is trying to attack the problem of dangerous animals throughout the city by changing a current ordinance. What dog owners in the city of Detroit have to say about this and the issues that are addressed.
And an ominous threat shuts down a Michigan community college.
It's the stuff of novels, right? Public officials taking envelopes full of cash.
He shouldn't have accepted it. He knows he shouldn't have accepted it.
Well, now it's time for the guilty pleas. We'll tell you who and how much ahead.
Next week, live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5:30 starts now.
The dominoes keep falling. 2 officials caught up in the Macomb County bribery scandal admit what they did in court. Bribes proved too tempting for public officials in Macomb County. Tonight, a couple of former township trustees are headed to prison.
All part of a municipal trash hauling contract controversy. The feds had uncovered informants embedded in the middle of it all. Our Benstetter Rod Maloney live downtown with the latest today. Rod.
Yeah, Devin, it was the New Haven Township trustees. They're now former trustees that are in the crosshairs. 2 of them here admitting in federal court that they met with one of those FBI informants, and they're now going to be going to prison. 43-year-old Christopher Craig Miles of Lenox Township, here in the gray hat and black coat, left the courthouse today after pleading guilty to 1 count of federal program bribery. The feds have him on video taking an envelope full of cash, $5,000 in total, from an FBI undercover officer. Craig Miles' attorney David Knox says Craig Miles took the job as trustee, not really knowing anything about politics, and found himself in a garage in a meeting last year.
But then he took an envelope, and he knows that he shouldn't have taken the envelope. And so he accepted his guilt, and he'll serve whatever he has to serve to put this behind him.
Also pleading guilty today to bribery is 57-year-old former New Haven trustee Brett Harris. In court today, Harris admitted to taking cash, roughly $11,000 on 4 different occasions as New Haven was looking to contract for its trash hauling services from the now sold-off Rizzo Trash Hauling Company. Harris's sentencing recommendation is between 33 and 41 months in prison. Craig Miles' attorney says it was Harris who brought his client to that ill-fated meeting.
His level of regret is off the charts. This is a former transit officer who is a family man. He's been married to his longtime sweetheart for years. He's raised kids. He's been a coach in the community. He has no history in politics.
Well, Craig Miles and Harris actually pled guilty to conspiracy.
to commit bribery. Craig Miles expected to serve roughly 2 years in federal prison. Both he and Harris agreed to cooperate with the feds, has been the practice all along here, and they're going to end up probably either testifying or helping with that investigation. And if in fact what they give the feds helps them, it could reduce the amount of jail time, but we won't know about that until sometime in June. Back to you.
Rod, interesting story about the way these two men ended up meeting with the FBI.
Yeah, Dean Reynolds, we're told, is the other person who was involved in this thing, and the belief is that Reynolds was the one that put them in touch with the FBI, and that so it would appear that the feds are looking for them to roll over on Dean Reynolds, and so we'll see how that plays out in the days and weeks to come. Reynolds has already been charged in this case.
Right. All right, Rod. Karen?
The Detroit City Council is working to tackle the problem of dangerous animals in the area. This morning, changes to the current animal control ordinance were introduced to the committee. Coco McAvoy was at the meeting, joins us live this evening to tell us about these changes. Coco.
Karen, most of these changes are aimed at generating more revenue so the city can properly police these animals, because with these changes, if you violate the ordinance, you'll have to pay a fine, which means, of course, more money for the city. But some of the other changes are also aimed at just making sure people are taking care of their pets.
Of the 1984 Detroit City Code, Animal Control, Regulation, and Care.
Starting with a simple name change from the Animal Control Division to the Animal Care and Control Division. And how to care for animals in the city is addressed throughout.
Different ways to attack the problem of dangerous animals in the city.
Like keeping a record of the animals the division gets and why they got them for a public annual report. Also ensuring animal control officers don't go into a house to get an animal without the owner's consent, a warrant, or a guarantee that the animal is in danger, because
we are facing some challenges legally.
The ordinance also addresses tethering, making it so owners wouldn't be able to tether their dog for more than 3 hours each day, use a tether made of anything but coated steel cable, or tether the dog if it's younger than 4 months old. Detroit resident Stephanie Crispin agrees.
Because it'll make them more aggressive and they wouldn't know how to act.
But Martin Yost says for safety,
some dogs do have to be tethered or have to have a nice, excuse the expression, barricade put around their surroundings.
Either way, the many changes are aimed at protecting the residents of Detroit.
Animals are just roaming, they're actually killing.
And something important to note, the changes to this ordinance, it also stems from the case from 2015, Xavier Strickland. That was the 4-year-old boy who was walking with his mother when he was mauled by pit bulls, also killed. Now, I spoke with his mother over the phone this morning, and she told me that she 100% agrees that something needs to change about the animal ordinance in the city of Detroit. Reporting live this afternoon, I'm Coco McAvoy, Local 4.
All right, Coco, over here now with Ben. Usually you would think a warm-up in February is just what the doctor ordered, but it comes with a lot of problems right now.
Yeah, I thought about calling it a taste of spring, but I think that connotes something
something nice. Yeah.
And this is probably not going to be that way. We're still at 40 degrees right now, but most of our area is going to get much warmer tomorrow. The one place that's probably not is going to be here in our north zone. Lapeer, you're going to be very close to this number. And if you're up in Sanilac County tomorrow, you're probably going to be in the upper 30s for high temperatures. But the rest of us are going to be gunning for the 50s and possibly even breaking a record. Of course, it is coming with quite a bit of rain. So here's the story. Tonight, we'll see a few scattered light showers. We're also going to be watching for dense fog to start forming. Tuesday's going to be soaking rain, especially during the morning commute, and then again right before the evening commute as well. Could be a record high temperature in there. We'll look at that in your 4-zone forecast. And then it's not only back to average, but below as we finish out the rest of the work week. So that roller coaster ride keeps moving. We'll check that out in a few minutes. Guys?
Former Lions tight end Brandon Pettigrew was arrested outside of a nightclub in Oklahoma City. Police say Pettigrew and several other people were at a nightclub yesterday morning when they were asked to leave. Once they stepped outside, officers had to step in and stop Pettigrew from pushing people around. After arguing with the cops, Pettigrew was arrested and charged with public drunkenness and disorderly conduct. A new lawsuit filed in federal court alleges a female student at Cousino High School was expelled after being sexually assaulted.
According to the lawsuit, a 15-year-old freshman was forced to have oral sex with a star athlete at the school in 2015, and after reporting that sexual assault, The accuser was questioned by school administrators and later expelled. Since then, the accuser's been attending virtual schools, now struggling, we're told, to receive credit for those classes. Across Michigan this Monday, we're following stories from the state capitol in Lansing and Galesburg on the west side of the state.
But let's start in Flint tonight, and that's where an investigation is underway after a threat was phoned into Mott Community College. The campus dispatcher received the call just before 7 a.m., soon after the college sent out an alert about an active shooter threat. Eventually, classes were canceled for the entire day. All campuses are scheduled to reopen tomorrow.
We're going to take it very seriously, and we have. And we're still taking it seriously. We have not, again, been able to validate whether this was a credible threat, but it's all credible until we can prove differently.
At this hour, no word on any arrests as the investigation continues.
Michigan lawmakers appear ready to cut state workers' benefits. Republicans want to shift workers like teachers, firefighters, government workers away from pensions to 401k-style retirement plans. Michigan ended pensions for new and future workers in the late 90s. Governor Snyder also pushing to address $14 billion in unfunded liabilities said to be mostly retiree medical costs. No specific retirement proposals, though, have been outlined just yet. A trailer stolen from a Boy Scout troop in Galesburg has now been found.
The trailer belongs to Galesburg Boy Scout Troop 265. It was stolen from the Scoutmaster's driveway in Galesburg last month. That trailer was found stripped clean miles away over in Vicksburg. Camping equipment such as backpacks, tents, sleeping bags, and cookware inside were gone. All of the items are marked Troop 265. If anyone spots those stolen items, call the Kalamazoo County Sheriff Department. Plans are underway to move one of Detroit's most well-known homeless shelters from its Midtown location to a new location.
The Neighborhood Services Organization says that its plans involve its shelter located on 3rd Street near Martin Luther King Boulevard. It'll move to a new building on the east side. New facility is going to cost $20 million. It'll have 3 floors and 75 one-bedroom apartments. Construction begins in January of next year. Well, it's one of the most valuable items from last night's Super Bowl, and right now, apparently it's missing.
What Tom Brady lost last night that he says might just end up on eBay.
Also, the one thing more than half of American adults don't have, they really need, why it could leave your loved ones with some big problems. Stock?
Bringing human hearts back to life outside of the body. From Dr. Frank McGeorge, it sounds like science fiction, but this is real-life research. Coming up, I'll show you who it could help the most.
They don't wear masks or carry guns, but computer criminals pose a threat to all of us.
We think that we're safe, but we're really not.
The simple, inexpensive ways you can protect yourself and your identity from cyber theft. The Defenders tomorrow, starting at 5.
Jeopardy is
new at 6.
For one man from Royal Oak, last night the Super Bowl was horrible.
The least fun place in America to be yesterday was in my basement watching the game.
But then it was awesome.
We were just jumping around, screaming. I think we piled on each other.
Why was the end of that game so much fun? Today he's got 1 million reasons. The story's coming up.
All right, looking forward to that, Steve. Plus, the science behind sounds. Why the sound of chewing, slurping, or gum smacking may drive you nuts. Yes, that gum smack.
It's not just the sound. There's more to it than that. We'll find out, yes.
And good health, bringing human hearts back to life outside of the body.
And that does sound like science fiction, but this is real-life research going on. Dr. Frank McGeorge here with a look at what scientists are doing and, more importantly, why they're doing it.
It's pretty cool, Karen and Devin. In fact, 6 million Americans suffer from irregular heartbeats. And one of the hardest kind to treat is called persistent atrial fibrillation, where the heart is always beating erratically. Well, now scientists are turning to the heart itself for new clues. Steve Hines never knew he had a heart problem until a routine physical showed his heart was beating erratically.
There'll be 2 or 3 regular beats, then it'll be like a real low one, or it'll be real quick.
He was diagnosed with persistent AFib. Twice doctors have performed procedures to stop the irregular beats, but the AFib came back.
He is really a poster child for the challenge that we have with persistent atrial fibrillation.
Now that challenge is being met head-on inside this lab at Ohio State University. Vadim Fedorov and his team bring the atria, or upper chambers, of donated human hearts back to life.
It's amazing. You can see the heart beating back again. Of course, it's disease hearts. It doesn't beat appropriately.
To understand why, the heart is placed in a dish surrounded by 4 cameras and injected with dye to detect electrical activity. Normal imaging can capture about 200 recordings of the heart. This records 40,000 in 3D.
We can see through the heart. We can see in any different depths.
That allows mapping of the heart like never before, and it gives doctors new targets in complex cases like Steve's.
I don't think we would have been able to fix his atrial fibrillation without Vadim's work.
I'm pretty fortunate because I've been able to be with people that think outside the box, and that's cool. I like thinking outside the box.
Now, if you're curious, the donated hearts come from people who received heart transplants. Scientists say they can keep the heart tissue alive for up to 12 hours to conduct their experiments.
Unbelievable. Really tough research to do, given the specificity of what you need to do it and how short a period of time you have.
Yeah, you've got to work fast and be very precise.
Yeah.
Remarkable.
Wild. All right, Doc.